Hello again. Welcome once more to Leopard Street, the cellar of possibilities. Anyway, yeah, short one today. I was filming a sort of usual update of what I've been doing over the weekend. I thought to myself, I'll have some trains running in the background. I mean, how hard can that be? Yeah. Found something with my little J26. Let me have a little look at it today. Stick around. This is Leopard Street. Okay, here we have the little beastie in question. Now, I decided I was going to run two trains. I had my G5, my little Bachmann G5, shoved a couple of coaches behind her, and she did what she always did, which is perform flawlessly. I thought, I'll get my other one running. This is my other Lock Sound 5 decoder, sound fitted. I've only got two sound fitted locos at the moment. Still waiting on the J69. So I thought, I'll just have them running around the background, making noise as they do. This little beastie normally runs, I mean, there we go. Stop, go backwards. Normally runs like this. All right, sometimes a little bit quicker. That's me setting it slowly. Normally runs flawlessly. She couldn't even get out of her storage loop without derailing, which I thought, that's a bit odd. So I put her back on the track. She rumbled around a little bit further, derailed again. Okay, there's something funny going on here. She was stopping and starting, which this decoder doesn't normally do. And what I found was, when I went to look at her, she wasn't properly on the rails. She was usually like that. Front was derailed slightly, or slightly to the other side. I mean, she still runs. Which, to be honest, I think is quite impressive. I mean, derailed and running. There we go. But as you can imagine, she then hits a track join, or she hits a baseboard join, and wanders further off the track and stops. What the hell's causing that? She doesn't normally do it. Now, I don't know if I'm going to adjust the camera slightly here. So let's see if I can make this a little bit easier to see. She's got a really nice little design feature. The angle there. My camera stand is a little bit strange. It doesn't line up properly. So if I just gently push her in sight. Now, I present to you, I shall find a little bit of wire so I can point at this. Let me just find a different colour piece of wire. So the first piece of wire I picked up is black, which is brilliant, but you're not going to be able to see it. So let's go with a yellow piece of wire, freshly cut. Now, you will notice locomotive. You will notice tender. A gap between them. Now, if I zoom in a bit more here. There you go. Look at that. Tender fall plate. And unlike most tender fall plates, it's actually in the right place. A lot of them float quite high. Very few stop short. This one actually does what it's supposed to do, and it lifts up. And it flops down. And I didn't notice what was happening. I re-railed her 2 or 3 times, and she just carried on derailing. She just hit a set of points, which obviously something threw her off. Go back to normal zoom here. She'd carry on for a bit, then she'd just hit something, and then the whole loco would come off like that. And she'd sort of yes, no work, because the tender has pickups and the tender was railed. But she'd be cutting out, as you sort of heard there, and I thought, this is a bit weird. What I found, and I found this totally by accident, I'm making this video in case anybody else has got one of these and has had this behaviour. What had happened was this. Tender fall plate had fallen down. Now, whether this is as it's gone over a hump in the track, so it's lifted slightly, don't know. But now, that joint doesn't pivot, or not very well. instead of having a 6-couple wheelbase, you've now basically got a 12-couple wheelbase. I don't like corners. You don't like points. And what was happening, she had a train on the back, so there was a bit of tension on the tender. So the front was derailing as it went around a corner. She's only got little flanges, works quite nicely. And I didn't notice. I'd picked her up 2 or 3 times and I'd put her back on the track. I hadn't noticed this. It was when I did notice, I realised, well, if I do that and put it back together properly, and then I ran her, she ran perfectly. So if you've got one of these, and if you've had any problems with it, that might be the source of it. Now, I'm not going to call that a design failure, because it isn't. It looks nice, and it works. I suspect it's a mix of poor quality track on my part. I've got a few bits that undulate and curves. So, yeah, it's a something. I'm not going to call it a feature. I'm not going to call it a bug. I'm not going to call it a design problem. But what can you do about it? Well, I'm not doing it yet. I'm contemplating this. If I lift this up out of the way, it will. See if I can get it to stay up. Will it stay up? It won't stay up. Oh. It's going to make life a little bit more awkward. Anyway, right, if I lift that up, what I'm proposing to do, I'll just derail the tender doing that as well. That's the other problem I had with it. It derails both ways. What I'm proposing is you can see there's 2 little bits of plastic that stick forward. I'm proposing to stick another piece in the middle, which will be slightly higher. And what it'll do is it'll lift that to about there. Just a little bit up, and it'll stick forward a bit. And what it'll mean is that fall plate can't fall into that gap. So, yeah. So to test this, what I'm now going to do is give her a run around the layout. I'm then going to bring her back up, couple her back up to her train, which is also up here, and I'm going to let her run around. And I'm going to try and redo the little bit of filming I was redoing yesterday with both trains running at once. So if I just adjust this slightly, slacken that off a little bit. Right, and we're going to go into forwards. We are in forwards. Because we can. I'm going to check the point work is set correctly for running down and around the loop. And off we're going to go. Now, as I said, this is a Locksound 5 decoder. There is no stay alive in this one. So if you saw my video on the J69, this isn't directly comparable. But there are similarities. And she's running quite happily at low speed around here. But I'm going to speed her up a little bit. I need to get on the programming track, actually, and play around with the speed profiling. But off we go. Let me just follow her around a little bit. Go past Candle Corner. Yeah, that's where the freight yard's going to go eventually. There's a bit of a mess there. But off she goes. Let's go a little bit quicker still. But when I got this little loco, this is the, like I say, the Oxford Rail J69, J26. I've got too many J class. She was running like this, absolutely perfect. And it was only the other day I noticed I started to get problems. I suspect what happened is she'd been partly derailed for a while and either re-railing herself as she went over points or something. And just on the day she decided not to. We shall shortly go past my other camera stand. Apologies. There is my G5, sorry, with the painted Hornby clerestories behind her. There's a paint tin. It's handling the way. Sorry about that. So yeah, I mean these coaches here. 3-foot test. I think they look all right. They've been repainted, but not as good as they could be. So she's going to pootle around here. I'm going to let her do a loop, and then I'm going to bring her back up. Just to point out, because as she went round here, this was one of the points where she derailed. And I'm just listening for the thud. And I've not heard it. So, underworld cam, here we come. Going down, going down, going down. Here we are. She'll come around here shortly. Sorry about that. This is my camera not being secure. Yeah, so this is the underside of the layout. She rumbles around quite nicely. Some of the other stuff, off she goes. And she derailed there, which she seems to have managed successfully this time. And then it'll be difficult to see her in a minute, but she goes around past where the van train is. Let's come back up in the world again. She chunters around. I've got some points to change. And she should come out over here. Behind the goggles, there we go. So here she is basically running perfectly. Now I'm going to bring her up. I need to find out where exactly, which bump it was that caused that fall plate to fall. Because I need to sort that out. Probably fixable, like I said, with a get a halfway. Stop it refocusing. Probably fixable with a small piece of plastic. Yeah, it'll be white. Yeah, it'll be super glued. Oh no, I'm modifying the locomotive. Ah! Yeah, anyway. As long as it works, I can put a dab of black paint on it. You'll never... I mean, it's under the fall plate. You'll never see it. So there we go. She's rattling around. Handling my not amazing track work. Beauty of a sound-fitted loco. Gods, it's easy to tell when you've got poor track. So I'm just going to drive around here. I'm driving via my layout screen at the moment, so I'm going to stop her in a sec. She's now gone far enough. Into reverse. And bring her back up. Stick her back on her wagons, and then off she can go. Here we go. And yes, not just for you, Kelly, but partly just for you. Tender first running. Ta-da! This is actually one of my few locos I could actually run tender first. She's got the coupling hook on the front still. The big Pacifics don't have. So yeah. As we'll come back up, she'll come past the A2, which I still haven't got around to opening up and finding out exactly what's wrong with. I think it's a split gear, but never mind, we're going. There she's coming up. In fact, let's go a bit quicker because I can. So light engine. Sound hasn't skipped a beat as she comes up. But as she's run around, she hasn't skipped a beat all session. She was previously. So like I say, if you've got one of these and if the performance is just a little bit bitty, have a look at the fall plate. Before you pick her up, have a little look at that fall plate and see if it's between the tender and the loco. Because even if it's not actually derailing, it'll be lifting some of the wheels on corners, especially if you've got slopes on corners, which I've got here. There's the slightly poorly A2 in the background. We'll come up here. Slow down a bit. I'm going to lower down as we come in and get ready for some coupling. Hot train on wagons coupling action. What more could you possibly want? I'm ignoring the little voices saying a better presenter, someone who knows what they're talking about, decent cinematography and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah. I'm well aware of all of that. I'm slowly trying to learn. So here we go back, and this is onto the Oxford Rail 7 planks. And the only change I've made to them is this rake has KD couplings. So, where are we? Leave the station area. I'm still working on the KD experiment. I've got some coaches I'm going to have to retrofit at some point as well. So far, doing all right. Another little thing I've noticed with her, every now and again, and only at certain speeds, but if you notice, she runs around and then just chuff, 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 chuff. Just a little bit. Yeah. But off we go. And I'm going to take her trains back round to the storage area. So yeah, so this is just a quick little video. There's other bits and pieces over there. That purple box, my new tender stepper motor has turned up. Be looking at all that in an upcoming video. I've been working on my new board controllers, which these, making 6 of them. They're not. It's taken quite a bit of time to do. It's not particularly interesting to watch, which is why I've not done videos of me making them. It's just literally fat balding bloke solders wire. It's not particularly interesting. So I've avoided subjecting anybody to that. But here we go. The Oxford Rail J26 running. She's actually about 2/3 speed there as well. This is not particularly fast loco, but about right for hauling a coal train. So yeah, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let her run around a little bit, and then that'll be it for this video. So as usual, thank you very much for watching. Likes, comments, shares, whatever, noted. If you've got one of these things, have you had any problems with them running? Have you noticed this particular full plate issue, or have you got a decently laid track layout that doesn't have this problem? Yeah, anyway, I'm going to let this run round. I'll catch you all in the next one. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye. Going down.